gets irritated by anything today? We all face the same things, just at different times and in different ways. There is no rejection, no temptation that is exactly the same for everyone, except for the temptation to not believe. My friends, we have all beaten that one because we are here in this place this day, ready and willing and able to be Christ in the world. Not that we are Christ, not that we have all the power and all the authority, but being willing to share that good news, the good news that gives us peace on a daily basis. You know, rejection didn't stop Jesus. Look at all the things that he accomplished in his life, in his ministry, after that day that he was rejected and run to the edge of a cliff by the people in his own hometown. They say you can't go home again. And I think that comes from this exact passage of Scripture. No one could look at the glory that he was trying to teach them. Their eyes were closed because they knew who he was a long, long time ago. That's a temptation as well, to not give somebody a second chance, to not be able to look past the hurts and the heartaches, to see the good that is resting inside of them. My friends, it is a journey. The world would look very different if Christ would have given it all up in the temptation in the wilderness or in the rejection in the temple. But through all those things, Christ was revealed. Christ was revealed to the world as the Son of God, the fulfillment of prophecy. Christ was revealed. My friends, it is not easy for us to be revealed as children of God. And it takes very long, very arduous processes for us to be made known to all around us as a believer and follower of Christ. Yes, we are tempted. Yes, we have rejection. But we're not quitters. I heard a story once about a math major and an engineering major who were talking one day about the difficulties of their schedules. When one said to the other as they sat through a challenging class, "We're not quitters, we're failures." We're not quitters, we're failures? Really? But indeed, by not quitting, by failing, they're saying that there is the chance that they can one day succeed. If you quit, you're giving up all chances of success in the future. It is easy to give up. Christ could have given up, but he didn't. We could give up because we're afraid that there is no way that God could possibly love us enough, forgive us enough, or show us enough grace and mercy for us to possibly be included as one of God's children. Just look at the prodigal son. The prodigal son, everyone knows that story. We've heard it since we were about yay high. Everybody knows the story. But in the prodigal son was tempted by the world around him. He was tempted by the fact that he knew that he was going to get some serious dough when his dad died. He wanted that serious dough now. He had a lack of patience to end all lacks of patience. He wanted his inheritance and he wanted off of that farm. So the father divided his assets, gave the half of the inheritance to the son, that wanted to run away. And that is exactly what he did. And he was tempted by everything in the world. He was tempted by the girls, by the parties, by the booze, by the drugs, by whatever it would be in today's society. He was tempted. And he made a lot of mistakes. But when that temptation became too much for him to bear, when he finally felt rejected by all of the society around him, when he finally felt that there was no way that he could possibly go on, he journeyed home, where he knew that he could go to his father. He could say, "Father, I have sinned against you and against God. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Take me as one of your hired hands." When he was willing to give up pride, God was able to be redeemed. As he was walking towards his father dropped everything he was doing. He ran to him with open arms and said, "My child, you were lost and now you're found." He didn't yell at him. He didn't tell him he was worthless. He didn't tell him that, "Oh, gee, I don't know, that you couldn't be one of my children anymore." He just said, "My child, you were lost and now you have no blame, no anger, no hostility, simply love." My friends, that's what happens to each of us when we are revealed as God's children. Each of us, all of our failures, all of our shortcomings, and we are able to truly see what life is like as a child of the living God. As Billy Graham preached one day, a missionary's daughter battled an uncontrollable urge to get up and run because of what she considered appalling preaching. You can imagine that Billy Graham was ever an appalling preacher, but apparently he was on this day. The girl battled her temptation to run away and stuck it out. And what was revealed to her was a man she would love forever. That woman was Billy Graham's wife. The person who would listen to every sermon he preached from that day forward once thought that he was the most appalling preacher that she had ever heard. He was rejected. He was tested. And he was revealed as one of the greats in all of religion. One of the great preachers that gives us courage to work in the life of Christ. One of my favorite quotes about rejection is from the sporting world and has been attributed to a failure. Let's face it. A man who didn't even make his high school basketball team. A man whose motto, "You'll always miss 100% of the shots you don't take," caused him to miss 9,000 shots during his career, including 26 game-winning last-second attempts. The man lost the game for his team 26 times. That is a failure if I've ever heard one. It's a wonder that Michael Jordan didn't quit the game years before. However, instead of focusing on the over 300 games that he lost, he focused on the opportunity for growth from rejection. He was probably tempted a time or two, but in the end, he says it was his failures that made him a success. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice to have our failures be the thing that lead us to success? We all have trouble dealing with failure, dealing with rejection, dealing with temptation to give up or to quit when we get stuck. But friends, we're not alone. There are over hundreds of books in the self-help sections of bookstores everywhere that help us get over the pain of rejection, that help us deal with criticism and with feedback that isn't all that flattering and that might cause others to want to quit. My friends, we do not need those books. Instead, what we need is the realization that through every trial, every struggle that we face in life, we are becoming more and more revealed as God's sons and daughters. Our Christ-like character becomes more real every day. It was a statue that couldn't find a home. 2013, a life-size sculpture of Jesus depicted as a homeless man sleeping on a park bench, wrapped in a blanket, with his crucifixion wounds evident on his bare feet. But after being rejected by two renowned cathedrals, St. Michael's in Toronto and St. Patrick's in New York, Jesus the homeless finally found a fan in the Vatican, Pope Francis himself. And sculptor Tim Smalls traveled to Rome with Jesus the homeless to present the statue to the Pope, where it resides today, as a reminder that Christ is for all the successes and the failures. So friends, the next time that you feel like you have failed at anything in life, remember that we are all failures, but we're not quitters. And our failures will lead us to success. The glory of God. May all thanks and honor and praise be to God, and Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, now and forevermore.
Amen.